AfterBuzz. We're back for finally the season 4 premiere of Devious Maids. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everyone, welcome back to AfterBuzz TV's recap of Devious Maids. It's the season premiere of season 4, and the title is Once More Unto the Bleach. I'm your host, Francesca. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, XOXOCESCA, and next to me is...
Hi guys, it's Candice Buenrostro. You can find me at Candy Buen on Twitter and Snapchat.
Hey guys, it's Laila. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Laila Sadny.
And this is Stephaune Wallace, and you can find me everywhere at I am Stephaune now. Not more fire.
We missed the fire.
And we are back in the studio with one of our favorites, Curtis.
Hi,
Welcome back.
I'm Curtis
Yay.
Keel, and you can find me at Curtis Keel on Twitter or Instagram. And I will not leave this studio.
No
I've been living here for
way.
the past year, waiting for season 4 to start.
He's our
Yes.
honorary 5th member.
Yes.
Very, very high honor. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for coming back. And so we talked about this last week briefly with when you came in and gave us a little sneak peek of the season, that the titles this year are all going to be like plays, but
They're
with,
all plays
yeah,
on cleaning puns. So Once More Unto the Bleach is a line from Shakespeare, Once More Unto the Breach.
Okay.
Next week's episode is called Another One Wipes the Dust.
I love it.
And if you saw tonight's, you know that has a double meaning.
Yep.
Oh yes, so there's lots in store. I thought it'd be really interesting I watched our last episode, I don't know if you guys remember everything, see what our predictions were and want to see how close we were. There's just a couple. So Laila, you predicted that Adrian ran to the other side of the mansion before the explosion. He was still alive. So you're right.
Yeah, look at you. All right, prizes.
One for us. Candice, you thought Genevieve would choose the baby over Zoila, and then she would help raise the baby. So we see in this episode, that's actually what Zoila right now feels like she wished happened. So you were like kind of right.
No, she's wrong. What are you talking about?
Kind of right is wrong.
Hey, I'm trying to be positive here. Stephaune, you said the baby dies and Genevieve and Zoila will be together.
Boom.
Wrong.
You know, try to...
They already got it all sorted.
They're only
Kinda
briefly
right.
together,
Yeah,
and
they're
it is going to
briefly
be a
together.
long split for
Well, I just heard that
Genevieve
the
and
baby's
Zoila.
not going to be here, but Zoila will return.
I think we should also remind the audience that Stephaune wanted the baby dead. He is the baby killer. I don't know why you didn't change your handle to I am baby killer.
Yeah.
It's not going to be popular enough.
I try to keep it positive, Stephaune.
Right.
See?
I did because the baby was going to be too much of a headache. We got to raise a new
That's
baby.
how we felt as writers, to be perfectly honest.
I'm
we got
speak-
enough kids on this show.
They just ruin the dynamic kind of a little
Well,
bit.
somebody's got to fall on the sword. I fell on the sword. Baby dead, Zoila lives.
It's going to lead to a lot of great drama. So as writers, we
love
thank you for your suggestion. We took the baby killing and ran with it.
Right.
And then the last 3 that we thought we could tell is going to happen this season. We thought Rosie is going to fight for Spence, which she sees she does. Actually, someone thought Sebastian's wife would come back. So far, he's not back. And I think you said he wouldn't come back. And then lastly, that Carmen's daughter comes when she's famous. But to her, she's already kind of famous in a way. But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So our opening scene, we see Eva Longoria pretty much reenacting the
Amazing.
first scene of season 1.
Yeah.
Right.
That
So
was
it was
cool.
like, a little time warp.
We finally get to see her on the show.
I know, it was so
Do you
exciting.
want to tell the audience what she said when you interviewed her at the premiere last
Oh
week?
yes. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit more about it later, but Candice and I were very fortunate to go to the Devious Maids red carpet premiere for season 4 with Curtis was there as well.
Of course. It wouldn't be the same without you guys.
And we got to talk with pretty much most of the cast. I think there will be a link below somewhere in the little description so you can look at all the interviews that we did. And I asked Eva Longoria, and I said, are you going to come back? And she says, no, because Perry's a biznatch, basically.
Yeah, and Danya, it wasn't me that called you whiny, but Steph, she watches every show, and she called me out on the red carpet.
Another thing that is
whiny.
Stephane's fault. That was Stephaune.
Everybody's blaming me for stuff.
Danya, it was him.
Well, I mean, and then,
I am a Danya insulter.
I am more,
I'm Danya insulted.
more insulting.
Baby killer insulter. Oh my goodness.
We
All
love
right.
Stephaune.
I'm
In fact,
glad
you
to do
guys
that.
were saying you guys like the wine. You like
We
her
love
voice.
the wine, and we love that in this episode.
She's a
it
great
gets,
character.
It gets
I
brought
love
up.
that
Yeah,
gets
me-
called out in this.
Me and
this
Genevieve
episode.
are on the same page. Whatever.
Telling her like it is.
Genevieve came around. I think it's time for you to come around too.
I am. I'm around. I'll be around.
Stephane's on board.
Yeah.
So we had Perry playing Evelyn, which was funny seeing her in the same haircut.
Uh-huh.
And we have Eva, and they have their little fight. And I like how they also poked fun at, again, season 1 when they were saying, isn't this kind of racist? You're making a show about maids.
Yeah, that was our criticism in season 1, that
Yeah.
because all the maids were Latina,
Right.
it sort of was a bad image for women. But anybody who's watched this show knows that the maids, the women who are the leads, and they are the heroes of the show. They are the
Absolutely.
smartest people on the
Absolutely.
show.
Exactly.
So, it was our chance now that we're a success to sort of poke back at that. So there was that line, and then there was also the very now classic Housewives line. That was a direct pitch in the room from Mr. Marc Cherry, and we just fell over laughing. And we were
Yeah.
like, okay, we have to put that in.
Yeah.
So it ended up being
Desperate
fun to the
Housewives.
tease.
And I worked at, Desperate Housewives.
Desperate Housewives. That's good. I think Perry was a great cast in the cast
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
actual show
Definitely.
or movie as Evelyn. It was dope.
It was like full
She
circle.
looks perfect.
Yeah.
It's how
Twins.
somebody would cast it,
Yeah, exactly.
It's always like the younger, better looking version of yourself,
What are you
So-
trying to say about
I'm not trying to say anything. Jeez.
Watch out. Wow, you are insulting left and
my
right.
God.
He's on fire.
I thought Evelyn was like #1 on your list.
Yeah.
I still think Evelyn's really hot. I think.
She might be coming in here, and she might be pissed at you.
I
I'd
don't
watch
wanna
out.
talk
Well,
to
they
you.
have her play kind of older, so, and Perry plays kind of younger. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Just to clear it up. I think Evelyn's hot.
Keep digging. Keep digging.
So this is all the whole opening scene is because Marisol's book Coming Clean is being turned into a movie, and she's upset with Perry because Perry's just obviously horrible to work with, and Peter Hudson, who's
Correct.
the
Exactly.
He's the head of the studio,
Yep.
who is basically, he's the guy you would complain to about the movies. He's in charge of making the big decisions.
right. He gives her 3 minutes to talk and says it's the best 3 minutes he's ever had and wants to go on a date with Marisol.
Which, why not?
Why not?
Absolutely.
He's a good-looking guy, head of the studio. She
Yeah.
wants her movie to.
She's hot.
Yeah.
It's her book. They're changing into a movie. It's great.
But she didn't, want any give him the time of day until she wanted to make Jesse jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we find out Jesse was here this whole time. He lied.
He
And
pulled he pulled the classic guy.
dude,
move.
this happened to me. It's actually happened to me.
Somebody lied about leaving town?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
And if they ever watch this, you know who you are.
We were
Call him
pulling
out.
from real life.
Call him out.
We owe
No
residuals
names.
to that guy.
Please don't give him money. So he's back. So Marisol's kind of a little like thrown off, and she's like telling Rosie, "Let me talk to Jesse to help you." And then she tells Jesse, "Oh, I'm kind of seeing someone." So she goes on this date with Peter, and
Oh.
she thought it went wonderful, but really she was just talking about Jesse. the
And
whole
how
time.
great is Anna Ortiz in that scene where she's like, it's so clear that Jesse did such a number on her that she
Yeah.
can't get rid of it. And you are watching it through the lens of Peter going, she does seem crazy.
I was like, you need to stop drinking wine. Just stop.
He definitely bruised her ego.
Oh yes.
Hardcore.
Yeah. I thought it was great of Jesse to try and let her down easy. I'm going to take the guy's side here.
Horrible.
And to break up with her, she is still stuck on him, and he had no way out.
If you recall last season, she tried to break up with him, then she showed up at his workplace. She
Yeah.
held a gun on him at
Yeah,
one
she
point.
pointed a gun
like,
at him.
I don't know, you might lie to her about where you've been.
I forgot about all that.
Of course
I
you did.
promise
Of course
I
you
didn't
did.
do anything crazy like that. So, anyways.
But then she ends up getting together with Peter, and then little preview ahead. Next week things get a little bit more complicated between we add a third leg to the triangle.
I like
in
it.
the form of, if you can tell from the previews, Mrs. Genevieve
Oh, yes.
Delator.
Uh-huh.
And she and Peter
they-
have a history, but I'm going to save it for next week to see, what's their history
I
there.
can't wait.
It's a
Yeah.
good one.
And then there's some head bumping between Marisol and Genevieve.
Yes, there's some hair turning,
Yeah.
hair coloring.
Hair
That green.
I like to see the two of them go at
It
it.
leads
Yeah.
to war.
Uh-oh. Sounds good.
Yeah.
But just advice that all women out there, the worst thing you can do is talk about your ex on a date. Men too,
Yeah, no, anyone.
Anyone.
That's awful.
you know.
And keep
Don't do
talking
it.
about it, not even able to turn off the subject.
Yeah, like you catch yourself, you're like, okay, I need to stop. You just
Yeah.
go the whole night on it.
But easily the best line of the entire show for me, when Peter says, "Look, I'm a grown ass man." I was like,
No, my favorite
Peter
line
won you over there.
from Peter was "take care" because we all know what
Oh,
take
yeah.
care. That's
Yeah.
like a done, like a take care.
that's like a pat on the back.
yeah, like
That's actually
We're
based
done.
on a writer friend of mine who got let go off of a job, or she hadn't quite been let go off a job, but she had been emailing with the showrunner's assistant who signed off about something completely unrelated. Take care. And she got the email and was like, I think I was just fired. And we were basically like, we have to use that in the show, so we did.
I love it.
It's like when someone texts you, "Okay," and you're like, "Oh, well, this conversation's done."
Done, yeah.
Done.
But he says he likes uptight and crazy women.
Well, he said
Smart.
sexy, smart, and
Yeah.
a little crazy.
All guys like that.
All
Yeah.
guys love
A
that.
little crazy.
Just a little crazy.
Got to be a little crazy.
And she said, "Okay, fine." Smooch.
Bang.
Bang. Well, that's probably what happened.
bringing her crazy out.
There's some aggressive, there's a little aggressiveness in Marisol. Well, we saw that though with Jesse. Mm-hmm. Yep.
just a little.
So with Evelyn, we find out obviously that Adrian's alive and he's in.
Yay!
Yes,
Yeah.
I know.
I'm so glad we can finally
Thank
talk about
gosh.
this. It has been such a long run to keep that quiet.
Right.
But now, if Tom Irwin and Kit Harington end up at a cocktail party, they will have a lot to talk about.
Right.
They both had to pretend to be dead on their shows.
I
don't know what I would have done if he wasn't on the show anymore.
I know.
It
We would
wouldn't-
never kill.
It would never
We
be.
never even thought about it, people. Never even when we came up the cliffhanger last year. No, the first phone call before the script came out went to Tom Irwin saying, "Just so you know, it may look like you're dead, but you're totally not."
Yeah, we were like stressed out last week because he wasn't at the premiere. We're like,
That was all strategic. Him being out of the
I see.
promos.
That makes sense.
It's all was strategic to keep you guessing, of course.
Wow.
So sorry, we
Yeah,
had to
no.
keep you interested.
It's
We
an
want to get those
elaborate
ratings
scheme.
up.
I love it. I love it.
I love the opening scene too, like when Evelyn is like at the country club and she's in all black. You think it's his funeral,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he
Right.
just pulls in the wheelchair. Hey guys.
And how about that wheelchair? And this was a little bit unanticipated. We love the twist that there was an after effect of the explosion, so that there was something surprising that happened. He's not just okay.
Right.
But we thought the wheelchair in the end kind of ended up being funny. I hope that's not offensive, but especially when you find out what happens at the end of the show. But
Right.
it is kind of amusing to see him zoom in
I
as the scene.
think,
zoom out of the
hilarious.
I
scene.
think him of all people in a wheelchair is hilarious.
Yeah, it's really good.
It fits him perfectly. And it definitely, like you said, at the end we see it aids to everything.
These guys gasped when that happened on screen. They were like, I think even bigger than the final thing that happened in the show was like, I'm so glad you guys fell for it. Because, of course, throughout we knew that he was,
Right.
faking being
He's
in the
not-
wheelchair. But I'm glad it worked.
Yeah, and so we find out that he's faking this the whole time because I think he figured it out before Evelyn says
Yeah.
anything because
He's so smart.
right,
Yeah.
he's smart and I think he remembers kind of how everything left, even though he's playing like he
Well, after don't you remember, before the explosion, she basically told him she was leaving him.
Right,
It
yeah,
was a
she was
huge
gonna-
waste of his life. So I think probably in the aftermath of the explosion, he was like, oh, what am I going to do?
Right.
And he came up with this. Or maybe he was slightly injured and he decided to play it up. We'll never quite know
yeah.
the details of exactly what it was, but he was clever and
He was-
crafty and very Adrian.
exactly. So he knows Evelyn's not going to leave him if he's in a wheelchair because that will just look bad.
Yeah. And she's very concerned with her appearance.
I love all these little diabolical plans they're just so elaborate and detailed.
And I love the
paying
line.
a
My
doctor.
favorite line in the show is, I hate to bother you. I don't want to bother you, and I hate to impose. But
Right.
would you mind killing yourself?
Yeah.
She delivered so great. by
Yes.
Rebecca Wasaki.
So
Yep.
harsh, but so funny. And she says, "You're literally my ball and chain."
Or just be careful around a flight of stairs.
oh yeah.
that was probably my favorite.
She's awesome.
I don't want to be working at her house.
Yeah,
She's
you better be
angry.
careful.
Yeah, you better be careful.
Don't get on her bad side. Most definitely.
So that's pretty much what happens, and we see that Adrian actually can walk. So this is gonna be exciting how he's gonna torture. He's still gonna torture her.
He is.
Even though he's making it his mission for her.
He's gonna try to
Get her back.
Yeah, he's gonna win her back. He's gonna win her over. So it won't be so much torture. There could be, it could be sweet, endearing. There's gonna be something nice happening.
I want to see what he does to get her to fall in love with him again. Like what he's gonna do that he think is romantic.
Spinning around.
I will tell you the opposite of everything that you would think is Adrian's plan to get her back. And it's actually a really exciting journey for Evelyn this year. I think that you really see new sides of her.
Yes.
And it's really going to be interesting to see those two. And I will tell you that she is going to find out that he's in the wheelchair. So that's an exciting thing to look for.
That.
And, well, you'll have to see how that plays out. But
Okay.
a lot of things are going to go down in the Powell's relationship. It's going to be exciting.
Ooh.
I'm happy the house is still there. I was concerned it was going to be.
They are
blown up.
rebuilding.
They're rebuilding.
Remodeling.
And that is going to go on throughout the entire season. It's not even going to be talked about so much as we get into it, but you'll see behind them, like, slowly the house comes back together so that by episode 10, it's pretty much all back in place.
Nice. So it can be
Gotcha.
the murder house forever.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't want to get rid of the house after all the bad that's happened there.
Right.
Sure.
But the house has just got to be there.
It's
a character.
It's
It is.
It is.
You don't want them to get rid of it
No.
at
That's
the
where
end
all
of
the
the
dead
day.
bodies wind up.
Yep. And then we
Maybe
see.
they decided to remake it in their
Reborn.
let all the bad things go away. But of course,
Right.
bad things are never going to go
No,
away.
that's what Rebecca said on the red carpet. She says, I can't remember the word, but trouble basically follows the pals everywhere. So,
Yeah.
murder house or not, it's gonna be crazy. And she has Gail helping her remodel this season, so we get Gail back in the cast. which
Gail
is-
Fleming, who will come in and out throughout the season, and right now I previewed this. Like she seems like she and Evelyn are friends, but that might change in the near future.
Frenemies.
Yeah,
They're
they
frenemies,
definitely
but it
are.
might go a little bit more towards enemies later in the
Uh-oh.
season. So that's something to look forward to as well.
Especially if Evelyn's pissed off about Adrian lying. Like I said, stay away.
I kind of like Gail though. She's so honest in this really bitchy way.
Right.
It's great. She's great. Always.
So we have Carmen, who's at obviously the Powell's house, and her quote unquote cousin Daniela comes in. But the second Daniela's there, she realizes,
It's her daughter.
oh schnips,
Yeah.
her daughter.
And Mr. Powell recognizes
Well,
her
we
too.
think that this is her daughter because I don't want to just say this is definitely
it is.
her daughter.
It's her daughter.
It's definitely her
It's
daughter.
her daughter.
I will confirm
Yeah.
it is absolutely her
All
daughter.
right.
Because Carmen knows a long time ago, she gave this baby to her cousin Josefina. So when this girl walks in the room and says, I'm Daniela, your cousin Josefina's daughter, she goes, boop, 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 boop,
Immediately.
and knows.
Okay.
And also, oh my God, they look exactly
Yeah.
alike.
Yeah.
Like, how
Right.
did nobody figure this out years ago?
Yeah, man.
Right, and Adrian
Super
sees
hot
it.
family.
He's having like a field day with it.
The gene pool is apple doesn't fall
I
far
told
from the
Stephaune
tree.
he is going to reevaluate his whole hot rankings
You have
this
to.
year.
You
They're all
have
being
to.
reevaluated.
Yes.
New list.
Enter Daniela.
And Daniela's played by Sol Rodriguez, and she was very sweet. We got to speak with her at the red carpet as well.
I apologize, you guys. She had a great interview, but as you know, her and I were going back and forth with the camera, and I didn't press record right. I didn't get the interview. So
Well, I heard that she might be coming
yeah,
in, though.
she's going to be coming in soon.
All right,
Hopefully
so we get a
next
full half hour with
week.
her.
Yes,
Mhm.
sorry.
But
I
she
gotta
was
look my best that day, so.
Yeah.
she was lovely, and she said that she
Put it
enjoyed
together.
being on set with them, and that they would always like dance and like do fun things on set. So I can see it already translating into their relationship on the show. So I think that's gonna be
Cool.
really fun. But yeah, so Adrian figures it out too, and he's gonna toy with Carmen about it.
Yeah.
And
It's so funny, Adrian and Carmen's relationship, how it's developed. They're kind of like cool friends,
Yeah.
you know?
They
And,
like to torture each other.
Yeah.
a little
yeah, and
bit.
they know each
They're
other's
in on each
secrets.
other's devious plans.
Right.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, that is fun. You guys developed that.
remember last season he wanted her to
The
do all the
S&M.
S&M stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like I think
Yeah.
they're
And
like
he was
I think
all up
they-
on. He had all the tea on her her real estate guy boyfriend.
Sebastian.
That's right.
Knew
And
about
now he's got
Sebastian
the
stuff.
secret of her being cousins, and that's going to come into play next week as well, because he's got the dirt on her.
I feel like Adrian's more devious sometimes than the maids.
I agree.
Well, it's also, I mean, the Devious Maids, there are devious employers, too. So usually, somewhere in each of the stories, somebody does something devious.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think Adrian does the voice the best, though, for being devious. He's always got, like, this, I am the devious one. Or,
And now
like
with his
his
little,
voice.
his little
Yeah.
wheelchair.
No, he's around
You
in
want
the
him
chair.
to be terrible, and the worse he gets, the more you like him. But it's amazing, and that's a real credit to both Tom Irwin and Rebecca Wasaki that they are able to make these characters who were basically villains in the first season really compelling and relatable, and also be able to do terrible things and say terrible things, and you still like them.
And funny. The humor is still
Hilarious.
perfectly timed every time.
Perfect.
Yep. Okay.
And so we see Daniela, she wants to be a singer, just like
Mama.
Her mom.
Mama. Yeah.
She get it from her mama.
My question is, why do you think she snuck out?
That's what
the
I was
window?
just going to ask, because she originally invited her to go to the party, and then she snuck out. Is there...
I think she's worried about how Carmen might, whether Carmen's going to talk to her mother about her.
Yeah.
She feels like she doesn't want to be under Carmen's thumb. And also they had that moment where Carmen seemed to be against her for reasons that she couldn't figure out. And even though they put it back together,
Yeah.
she was
She's
a little concerned
yeah.
about it. She was a little put off by Carmen.
That's what I was thinking. Like, because Carmen kind of wanted her gone.
Right.
Because they kind of, like, made up that she's probably, like, playing
So
it
why
safe.
take a risk and say, I'm going to go to the party, and then if Carmen says no, then they get in a big fight. And it's like, why don't you just go? Oh, which is what she does.
But saying you're going to bed at 8:30. Come on now.
With the robe on.
Jet lag, man.
Jet lag, that's right. Exactly. It's 11:30.
The only Carmen's has no mother skills yet. She hasn't gotten the nurturing
Well, that's
skills.
what we thought about was fun about the character of giving Carmen a daughter, was because she is the least motherly one in the
Yeah.
whole show.
And that's such a
So she'll learn.
Carmen move too, like what Daniela did. She's like such a mini Carmen.
Mother.
Yeah, and
daughter.
you were thinking of the idea of like what was Carmen like when she was 20? I'm sure she was dressing up and sneaking out the window
Yeah.
all over
Sure.
the place.
Trying to get
Absolutely.
into parties, like I'm a pretty girl.
Yeah. I'm a hot girl.
Doesn't that give you?
Right.
Don't you guys use that?
Yes. No,
They do.
they're
They
denying
work it.
I go to bed at 8:30. I know what you're talking about.
Of course, yeah. That's right.
Exactly.
And then we see she meets Jesse. So we
A
already know
love
Marisol,
connection.
right, has like a kind of a triangle or like there's a triangle with Genevieve and Peter coming along, but then I feel like now we've made this triangle a
Web.
bigger,
It's a big
bigger
Pentagon
shape that I
web,
can't-
whatever.
Pentagon or whatever. Yeah. What's the next shape?
Everybody's crossing with
Octagon.
everybody else.
So I think that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Jesse back too.
Yeah.
So-
Yes,
I can
and
make
Jesse,
my
I
own.
said, will be in all 10 episodes this year.
Oh.
You'll see him every week, along with both of the pals. Couldn't say that in the preview show. That
Oh,
Adrian is
yay.
in all 10 as well, unlike last season when there were episodes where they were like, off, gone, and you were like, where's
Yeah,
Adrian
yeah,
this
yeah.
week? So
Okay.
they'll be in, and Genevieve as well, and Spence, everybody.
Everyone,
Oh, wow.
that's
All
awesome.
10.
That's great.
Yeah, I felt like this for the opener. I know we shortened down to you guys shortened down to 10 episodes, but the opening scene packed with a lot of characters' lives crossing. So I think that's really cool that we're gonna see them all the time. more
And I
often.
talked about this too, is like a lot of different characters crossing over. Rosie's with Jesse, Genevieve's with Jesse. There's just a bunch of different new crosses that you don't usually see.
Yeah.
More to come.
Nice. Whole community. It's great.
Very excited.
So I think the biggest thing that happened this episode is the whole kind of web that's around Rosie and Mr. Spence.
Yeah.
And Perry.
That's that was a big
I
plot.
am kind of suspicious. Maybe he is just the houseboy, but Jesse. I was suspicious with him last season, though, but
Right.
he wasn't the killer.
Well, there's always something suspicious when you lie about going somewhere.
Well, let me
Oh,
say
yeah.
this. I will say something about everybody. You know that the murder now is Perry. So at the end of the episode, Perry was murdered, and we can talk about a little bit where that's going. But like, we have crafted this mystery that you should be looking at every single character on the show, whether they seem to relate to the murder or not. We're gonna
Okay.
go. It's gonna be everybody's a suspect at the end of the day, and you might be really surprised by who did it at the end.
Yeah.
It's not.
So
it's not the
maybe
most obvious.
Jesse could be in the mix.
I mean,
You'll
we
see.
got a long season to go, so every
Yeah.
episode it's gonna flip flop
Yeah.
like we always usually do.
Right.
But
He's the killer. She's the killer.
I like a
Hey,
good
it
who
could be
done it
Rosie.
though. That's always fun.
That is the question this season: is who killed Perry?
Yeah.
It's Q Detective Rosie is going to come in and get to the bottom of this.
Yeah,
she
she
is
always-
definitely going to be invested in this mystery.
So my question to is to Eva then. She said she wouldn't come back because of Perry, but now Perry's gone, so Eva, you gotta come on more episodes.
Well, Eva is not in any of the rest of the season, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
Maybe
we
next
could
season.
The movie,
twist
they're
her
gonna-
arm to it. It's up to her.
I
See
love-
what she's doing. Maybe she'd be
Okay.
willing
I
to come
love
back.
the irony of her. It's an American Choice Award, is
She
what
gets
it was.
killed with
And
it.
She gets
Yeah.
killed with her own American
Well,
Choice
as we
Award.
Oh,
discussed-
that's what it was.
Yeah.
We discussed in the preview show that we were nominated. We were nominated to be nominated for the People's Choice Award, and so we thought it would be funny if Perry had actually won an award like that, not the People's Choice Award for legal reasons, of course not, but an America's Choice Award, which is even better, and then get murdered with it. So-
Right.
Of all the
Stabbed
ways
with
to
your own
go,
award.
Right? She kind of deserves it.
Yeah.
No, she's manipulative,
Well,
super
that
dramatic.
comes into play because Perry's so awful. It's like there's so many people in town that could have
Right.
motivations
Easily-
to kill her.
easily have a
Not
motive.
just the people in her house, but
No.
everywhere in
Even
town.
Eva Longoria, she hated her.
Yes.
Listen, I'm telling you, if she
Maybe
called me a
that's the end.
houseboy, I probably would have to stab her.
Houseboy.
Houseboy? I was like, hello.
Eva Longoria being the killer would be really great at the end of the day. But I already told you she's not in another episode. So that one, you can cross her off your
All
list.
right.
the
I got
one
so
we
many
can
in my
cross
head right
off.
now.
It's a bummer.
I'm just worried about Mr. Spence because, well, Perry in America's eyes, like Genevieve said, she's America's sweetheart. Which I'm surprised is how like paparazzi or press have it never got out that Perry was hard to work with or she was like
Right.
Diva.
biatch.
Yeah, because then at the party there was those photographers
Yes,
taking
and
pictures of
they're
them
gonna-
in that fight.
Yeah.
And then she ends up dead. I mean,
Yeah, and Spence
Ding,
looks
ding, ding,
terrible.
ding, ding.
Spence.
I sent some predictions there.
Poor Mr. Spence.
Spence looks like an alcoholic abuser. He's throwing her
Killer.
against the wall. He's the obvious choice for the killer.
wakes up in the room with her.
Wakes up in
I
the
know.
room.
Maybe he did it.
No.
Maybe
That'd
he
be too
did it.
obvious, but maybe you're making it.
No.
Or maybe it
May-
seems obvious and
Right.
we'll
Maybe it's
circle
right
back
in
to
front of
him.
your
Who
face
knows?
and we don't even see it.
Right?
He blacked
Oh, I'm
out.
screwing with you.
So he's wakes up like that because he started drinking, even though he's supposed to be sober, right? Because he has this memory of Mr. Spence.
Yeah, that was triggering for him
Right.
earlier, and then when Rosie, popped in, that like struck it.
Right.
But it was it was attempted to be suppressed by our new character Ben.
Ben,
yes,
yeah.
the manager slash sponsor
Slash chief
evil
brainwasher.
Slash-
Perry loved. I
maybe
think
murderer.
Perry was having an affair with him.
It
It
definitely
looked like
looked
it.
like
Some
it.
kind of
looks
like
like it.
touchy. They were a little too touchy for me. Or maybe possibly.
And even that little comment he made at the party, like, my plate is full with Perry. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Y'all nasty.
But you can feel the dark side with Ben now.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's
Something.
definitely.
Something happened.
Something ain't right.
And then I want to know what Perry saw, when she was looking for Ben at the end. She opened the door and it's like,
Yeah.
Whatever she saw got her killed.
I thought what she saw was like someone dead.
Or no, I thought maybe she saw Ben hooking up with Daniela.
Oh. Daniela's not just
I don't know about that.
automatically
oh my
a slut.
God, did Daniela kill him?
She was at the party. I told you to look at everybody.
Well,
You'll find out. We will absolutely come back to what did Perry see, but I can't tell you when.
Okay.
All right.
And then we don't want to forget about Mr. Spence. He slips and falls, and that's what he
Yeah.
remembers. Everything just flashes through his head. And I don't know. Well, we all were sitting there gasping. I thought that was gonna be the death, that you guys were gonna kill Mr. Spence.
That's why you guys gasped. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, he hit his head pretty hard. I guess.
That's all we needed to remember.
I didn't think that
It's
at
just-
all. I was
No?
like, oh, memory's coming back. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we're the type of show where you hit your head and get amnesia, and you hit your head again and get unamnesia. That's how it
Only
works
that
on Devious
easy.
Maids.
Right? I thought it was like his life. When you
Life
die,
flashing.
your life. They say your life flashes before your
Yeah.
eyes. So that's what I thought.
Oh.
But
No, never once. I was right on. I'm in line with what's going
No,
on.
it was
here.
just a dramatic way of showing him that he got his memories back, and in a quick manner. We decided the amnesia thing ends up just being sort of a stall over the season to get us back on track. We talked about going further with amnesia and playing it for a few episodes, but when we stumbled across killing Perry, that was like, well, we don't need that.
Right.
So it was one of those things that came out over the hiatus.
I like how he significantly forgot that he did porn.
Well, he also showed shots from the wedding, and then he forgot. He didn't notice. He didn't get to the part where Rosie got shot. Like all the bad things. Only
Selective.
good memories.
Do you guys want to get into predictions?
Wait, we forgot to mention Kyle.
And
Oh,
Zoila.
yes,
We didn't
Kyle.
talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
Zoila.
It was cute. It was kind of like a little. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the movie Made in Manhattan,
Yeah, I
where
love
she
it.
falls in love
Oh,
with this
yeah.
man.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
Zoila opens the door and she's dressed in this
Sure,
beautiful gown,
sure.
and you know what? She had a second. She paused. She's like, you know what? This is my house. And
Right.
good for
Good
you,
for
Zoila.
her.
She needed like a little escape from reality. So I'm very excited
Boost
to
the
see where
confidence.
So
this
the
little
homeowner
love
is gone
interest-
for what, 6
The
months?
homeowner is away in Italy for 6 months. She
Okay.
bought the house. She needed a maid to unpack, and Zoila came in because she had this big thing with Genevieve, which was such a great scene.
Yeah.
Yes. It was emotional.
And
Ugh.
yes, and it was that is just because we are aware that the baby death, in all seriousness, is a very serious thing. But that is as sad as it gets for the season. It will continue to be with Zoila,
Okay.
but we really had to honor it in that scene. And now Zoila did something very un-Zoila-like in being devious and lying about owning this house to Kyle. And that is going to be her story for this season. She is going to be impersonating the homeowner of this house. We did not pitch it this way, but we realized it's a little bit Working Girl. Like, you know how Melanie Griffith
Yeah.
took
Yes.
over for Sigourney Weaver.
Yep.
That's what Zoila does in Devious Maids world. And she gets involved with Kyle. And Kyle, as we've talked about, has a mother who's a little too close for comfort. And you're going to meet her next week.
Okay.
Frances.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's
I love
cool.
that moment between Genevieve and Rosie where and Genevieve, she was trying to be sincere and she's like, you know, let's be there for each other.
Yeah.
Let's clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's only gonna make you happy.
She passes the torch though. She gives her
Yeah.
the
Look, you're my
feather
maid.
duster. Working Girl, man. All right.
Yeah.
The 80s, right?
That's basically the storyline, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
I
It's
love
gonna be
it.
good to see her do that, Zoila.
It'll be a good. It's a way to turn that sad storyline. It'll be fun. It's going to be a fun storyline, but you know that the moments of the emotion will come out here and there over the course of the season, and you're going to find interesting places where Zoila ends up in this story and interesting people she crosses with.
And I love Zoila having a love interest. I'm just, it's like her time to be
Yes.
coddled and stuff.
She's bringing sexy back
Yeah.
with all those dresses.
Yes.
All
And
right,
she wears them well.
she does. Got into quick predictions before we
Yep.
go.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Shout out to Genevieve for her lines. They're always fantastic and perfect.
Susan Lucci.
But Susan Lucci's always, her timing is great.
Can I just let y'all know my dream came true? I got to meet her last week and Laila
Awesome.
texted me. So yeah, she's amazing and yes.
She's
Yes, Candice, you've loved her for years. I saw
Yeah,
the
yeah.
picture on the red carpet. And I was like, yes, you're finally complete
Yes.
now. That was
She's
my comment.
absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
A totally lovely person. Could be a total diva after the career she's had, but is absolutely wonderful.
That's
She was very
great. That's
sweet.
good to hear.
Yes.
Yeah. I love when she says, I absolutely have 2 maids. I'm rich. I was like, right on, girl.
Her favorite line from last season was when she's like, "I've been dieting for this all my life." When she fit into the elevator.
Right? Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a hilarious moment.
So how do you think her and Rosie's relationship's gonna play out? What do you guys think about that?
I like it. I think it's going to work. They've already started to have their little girlfriend powwow and share what each other's going through, which is basically what her and Zoila used to do.
I think
it fits.
Yeah, I think Genevieve's going to make Rosie a little more like, kind of, not scandalous, but a little more not so like.
more tough.
Yeah, like, yeah, exactly.
Make her skin thick.
Yeah.
Give her some street smarts, too. She's a little,
I'm so-
naive.
Danya, I
naivete.
didn't say it. It's him again.
Again!
Oh,
Danya is going to bring you around this
Yeah.
season. Rosie is going to totally bring you around.
I still think she's
This
hot.
is
I'm
her
just saying
year.
her character.
I had nothing to do with it, Danya. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about them.
All right, what else we got?
I don't know. I think I feel like we know a lot, just kind of piecing it together already. But I think I'm excited to see what's gonna go on
Yeah.
with Marisol and Peter and Jesse and Genevieve. This kind of like, and then Daniela. This big shape we can't figure out.
I have this crazy off the wall out there prediction.
Say it.
So you know how Peter was talking with Marisol about, Marisol's talking with him about the how Perry was difficult, and it's like, oh, I talked to her, it's gonna be taken care of. I think he killed her. Maybe.
Studio head, huh?
Yeah. Possibly.
Off
Or has something to
the
do with
wall.
Can we wrap up the show? Can it be over? Can we cut that out?
I'm available.
I said
by the way.
everybody's a suspect. Every single person on the show.
I don't think so, but it's just too tough. I mean,
But now she's opened my mind.
I need a couple more episodes to get into what I think.
Yeah, let's get, we gotta let it get juicy.
I'm gonna stop.
But I am excited to see the web of sexual encounters with everybody.
More men with shirts off. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and
We know our audience.
Wait,
Don't you worry.
and new hottie, Kyle.
Yeah.
You got to interview last week
Yes.
also. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
And I don't know if audiences recognize him. He's from Chuck. He was
Okay.
Captain Awesome on Chuck.
Okay.
He's got a great voice, man. Right away.
He does. He does.
Yeah.
Did you hear it?
He has a great
Wow.
voice.
I was like, golly, this guy's voice is amazing.
He did voiceover work.
Did he?
Did he?
I
Oh.
bet so.
All right, guys. So everyone, make sure to check out the interviews that we did on the red carpet for the season 4 premiere. The link should be below, but it is also on the AfterBuzz YouTube page. If you can't find it, just type it in there. Curtis, where can we find you?
At Curtis Keel on Twitter and Instagram.
Awesome. And will we have you back again soon?
Sure. At some point when I hope you have that some of the actors come through, but I'd love to come back anytime.
Perfect. Yay, Stephaune.
Yes, I am Stephaune, all over Instagram and Twitter, wherever you want to find me. I'm even starting Snapchat because you started it. So I'm in now.
Can I petition for I Am More Fire back, please?
I am Baby Killer. That's what you want to go with.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Laila Sadny.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, Candy Buen, Candiebuen. And thank you guys for being here. We're very excited for season 4.
Yes,
Yeah.
very excited. And you can find me, Twitter, Instagram, XOXOCESCA. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.